Grand evening, everyone. It is Thursday, December 18th, 20 hours and 40 minutes in the evening, Central Standard Time. And I have a short update here tonight. We're going to talk about a few different things. Not very much here tonight. Got to keep it short. This is initially a live stream recording that is posted to the live section of my YouTube channel. One moment. Okay. We'll start with this here. Let me switch this. I'm getting ahead of myself. Some of the most major news we have to talk about here tonight is the 3i Atlas. Some people call it a comet. It's going to be either very real or very fake. If it's very fake, I expect the government to fake a alien invasion on the planet, starting in one or more countries, if they do end up faking it. So it's either going to be something that is very real, not from this solar system, or it is going to be something that is very fake and government, potentially the US government. I don't think it'll be any specific government. It could be like the New World Order, the NWO, or even the CIA may fake that whole thing. That is going to be a very interesting situation to see what it ends up being and how it all goes. If it is very real, it'll be absolutely historical and the first time in thousands of years potentially that a alien spacecraft has visited this world and has made such direct communication, letting the entire world know that it is here. It is thought that there are aliens, and there have been in the oceans for thousands of years now, in deep parts of the oceans, very hidden from humanity. So much of the oceans are not discovered. I believe it's like 95%. So much of the world's oceans are not discovered. That is a very similar thing as discovering new things in space when it comes to the ocean. So we'll get into the news here. This is going to be very short. This was from the Leading Report. It was breaking news, also from CBS. More than 75% of homes across the U.S. are now unaffordable. That's more than 3/4 of the homes across the U.S. are unaffordable. And then we have this here. The President of the United States is declaring a housing emergency potentially over the unaffordability of buying homes in this country. This is also from Fox News, as you could see there.
On housing, you talked in your address last night about housing.
Yeah.
Are you still considering a national emergency over housing?
I'm looking at it.
What would
yeah,
that look
I'm
like?
looking
What
at
would that
it.
mobilize?
You know, there's two thoughts on housing. You have a lot of people have housing that because we have such a strong time and such a strong market, their houses are very valuable. It's a big part of their net worth, their house. I don't want to knock those numbers down because I want them to continue to have a big value for their house. At the same time, I want to make it possible for young people out there and other people to buy housing. In a way, they're at conflict. In other words, you create a lot of housing all of value for their house. At the same time, I want to make it possible for young people out there and other people to buy housing. In a way, they're at conflict. In other words, you create a lot of housing all of a sudden and it drives the housing prices down. So I want to take care of the people that have houses that have a value to the house that they never thought possible, that have sort of made them wealthy and happy, and especially in their later years. Got to be careful with that. I want to keep them up. At the same time, I want to make it possible for people to go buy houses. Daniel, please.
So the President of the United States intends to do certain actions, such as declaring a housing emergency to make housing very affordable in the U.S. There's lots of houses out there that are very expensive, and so many of them are just listed and they do not get sold because there's so much inflation and so much hyperinflation and more money printing. That's what's doing it, especially. And then we're going into very likely a direct war with Russia, China, Iran very soon, especially starting with Venezuela, as that could happen as soon as tonight. I expect it more tomorrow, though it could happen more tonight when it comes to Venezuela. When it comes to Venezuela, it could happen at any time from not even this point on, from days ago onward. That could happen. So we have this here. When it comes to 3i Atlas, it is making its closest approach to Earth yet. It has done many anomalous things. NASA and governments of the world, observers too, have never seen. It is not, in my opinion, a comet. It could be very real or very fake by the governments of the world, such as maybe the NWO or the CIA is doing it with something called Project Bluebeam, potentially. This is from Space and Technology. Interstellar object 3i Atlas will pass near Earth tomorrow. These are the 15 anomalies pointed out by Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb. One moment, stand by, because I know something was lagging. It was buffering a few moments before. Okay, we're good. So, back to these anomalies. There was a jet, which is like a force, a pressure coming off of this object. It was pointing towards the sun, not away from it. That's one anomaly that was pointed out by the Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb. Another one is it has a tightly collimated jet. Another anomaly is It has a stable jet direction over time. The fourth is it has a retrograde orbit. The fifth is the orbit is nearly opposite to the ecliptic plane. The sixth is there's been close flybys with this object to multiple planets. The seventh is that it avoids a close pass with Earth. So it may be intentionally doing that for a while until maybe tomorrow, as it is very much out there that tomorrow it is making its closest approach. The eighth is that there's no clear dust coma from 3i Atlas. It also has unusual brightness behavior. That's another anomaly. All of these are anomalies. The 10th is activity at distances where comets are usually inactive. The 11th is abnormal response to solar heating. The 12th, it has nickel detected without iron. That's definitely an anomaly. Very interesting. Lack of expected carbon-based volatiles. And 14 is jet behavior is not explained by water ice sublimation. And the 15th is that all the anomalies are appearing together, which is rare for natural objects. The usual combination of these anomalies makes 3i Atlas a mysterious object that scientists are watching closely. It is definitely one of the most famous and most mysterious objects of modern times these days. We are going to find out much more tomorrow and in the coming days when it comes to 3i Atlas. Tomorrow could really, especially if it is very real, it is going to be one of the most historic and interesting times, good or bad, that there has been in modern times. I do think it could be very real or very fake, as I've said a few times, which governments of the world could use something like that to carry out certain plans and agendas that they may have. It is a very interesting object, very anomalous, as there's 15 just there. I believe there's more than even 15 anomalies when it comes to 3i Atlas. Once again, we are in the holiday season. Winter fast approaches. It begins, I think, on December 21st, which is Sunday. That is the more official start of winter. Then we have, let's see, the price of gold is at $4,317 an ounce. It took a big dip there, which was not much of a dip compared to how high it's been going. It only went to 43.10. Though it's staying, it is still approaching $4,400 by the day. I think it may have done that recently. It went to It went to $4,340. That was one of the highest record highs gold has ever been. Let me see what else here. So that is that chart. Got this back stable. Keep on preparing during these winter holidays and prepare for winter itself. Most people overlook that. You have to prepare for the extreme cold. People could get stuck out on a road. And getting stuck out on a road when it's negative 10 degrees is extremely dangerous for those who are not prepared and have the right things with them. That is a great example. If a car breaks down or runs out of gas and it's negative 10 degrees outside, sometimes people may have to somehow camp within the vehicle or abandon it and try to survive the extreme cold until reaching a nearby town or city. Winter is not to be underestimated, especially this one. What a winter it will be. It's going to be one of the most historic and memorable and difficult winters there has been. Prepare for this winter. Prepare for what is coming, such as the war, such as World War III that I usually talk about. That'll just about do it for tonight. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will be back soon with further updates when it comes to war and 3i Atlas and even further news than that. Thanks for watching. Love, light, and blessings.